As finals approach, so does a new test-taking platform. Stay tuned to learn more.
I spoke with David Smith at RT Clapp Automotive about how students should inspect their cars before hitting the road this summer and what they should be looking for. Stay tuned to learn more.
And if the service that somebody is looking for is not one that we provide for them, then we will get them connected with the other places that will be able to provide the help that they need.
And we're diving back into burnout one last time and focusing on the resources available to you.
Thank you for joining us for TVC Plus. I'm Kaylee Smith.
And I'm Emma Browning. As finals approach, so is a new proctoring software. Uhaverity is taking place of Procterio.
However, the success of the program is limited. Our Dawson Durrett took a look at how the new software has been performing so far.
Integrated within Canvas, Uhaverity offers automated proctoring and ID verification. Sophomore at UT, Alexander Kashubi, spoke about his experience with the system.
I mean, it was not bad. It was, I felt a little more rigorous comparative to Proctorio.
Kashubi says the new system felt similar to the previous platform Proctorio, but with a few extra steps.
They wanted me to download something else to, be able to access my exam, and I was like, okay, this is kind of annoying. Proctorio is more straightforward.
He also says the monitoring process can add stress during testing.
I'll be holding a calculator for one of my exams, and I have to show it. I'm like, this is a calculator, not a phone. I kind of wish there was a way I could be not having to worry about that while I'm taking my exam. More or less just worry about my exam, not being okay, I'm not cheating, I'm doing my work.
Uhaverity opens the door to more testing options and better compatibility with online exams. Chief Academic Technology Officer and Deputy CIO Dan Harder says the new software offers several improvements, including expanded accommodation capabilities to better address accessibility needs. The university is also using weekly Canvas announcements to share updates with students and instructors, while offering workshops to help faculty set up assessments and proctor correctly. I'm Dawson Durrett in Knoxville with TVC News.
Now UT will continue monitoring Uhaverity's performance as more students use the platform through finals, and TVC will keep following the story throughout the next year.
Now, a group of students who won't have to worry about this new proctoring system is this year's graduating senior class. However, something that some of them will have to be keeping their minds on is student loan repayment. But experts say understanding the timeline and how to get started early can make all the difference. Most federal student loans come with a 6-month grace period after graduation, giving students time before first payment is due. TVC got the chance to speak with Associate Director of Financial Wellness, Philippa Satterwhite, to learn more on the proper steps to take.
You'll need to reach out to your loan servicer. So what we recommend is going to studentaid.gov, and then finding out who your loan servicer is, and then reaching out to set up how they want the repayment.
Now, before that deadline, students are encouraged to log into their accounts, review their balance, and choose a repayment plan that fits their financial situation. Financial experts also recommend creating a plan early so there are no surprises once that grace period ends. Taking those steps early can make that first payment a lot less overwhelming. Now, alongside student loans, another challenging part of graduating is the realization that it's now time to step out into the real world and leave your college life behind.
We'll now head over to Aubrey Curran, who is standing live outside the Allen Jones Aquatic Center to tell us more about how 2 former UT students are dealing with this challenge. Well, it seems like Aubrey can't reach us quite this yet, but hopefully we'll tune back into her when she patches back over. But it has been a stressful time for all college students, but some good news is that resources are available right here on campus to help.
All semester long, our Allie Seaton has been looking into the different aspects of burnout, and now she's back to show you some ways you can help yourself.
Help can often be just a call away. For students, it could be even closer. The semester is ending and burnout has probably taken hold. But what can you do about it?
So if somebody is reaching out for help, it should be a very easy access to a pathway of being able to get help if you're reaching out.
Charlotta Wentworth, the program coordinator for intensive children and young adult programming at the McNabb Center, is one of many who are willing and qualified to help a student struggling with burnout.
And I always encourage people not to wait until you need help to reach out. We should be thinking about the things that we can do internally in our everyday life to stay grounded and try to, balance all of our life's demands.
The University of Tennessee has resources for students in need. One of these resources is access to free psychotherapy sessions.
I'm a big fan of psychotherapy. I understand it's not easily accessible at all points, but while you're on a campus and you have access to free care, even if it's a limited session, do it.
The biggest thing to remember is that you're not alone. Even checking in with a professor can set you on the road to relief from burnout.
Nothing is more stressful than feeling like you're not allowed to express how stressed you are. And so I would, hopefully people feel comfortable enough that they could say that and we could have a real conversation, because at the end of the day, you're human before anything else. Before you're a student, before you're an athlete, you're a human being. And if that starts to fall apart, you can't do the other things.
Reporting from Knoxville, I'm Allie Seaton.
Just like 98888, UT also has a helpline if in-person care is difficult to access. As finals come to an end, check on those around you and make sure to check on yourself.
Now, a good way to check on yourself is to give yourself some personal time. One way you could do that is by walking over to UT Gardens for a quick getaway into a peaceful area.
That sounds really nice. And while you're out there, you might notice one UT alum who has turned their passion into prize-winning work. Our Alexa Durbin is live in the UT Gardens to share more.
With graduation just a few weeks away, it's leaving seniors looking to the job market. But I've spoken with several students who are struggling to find a job related to their area of study. Now, a study done by LinkedIn just last year tells us that only about 27 to 40% of graduates have a job related to their degree. Now, I spoke with a UT alum who took a similar path, has a job outside of her degree, and she has some advice for those future graduates. Take a look.
A blank canvas can mean something different to everyone. For Tiffany Foss, it's about bringing people and places together.
It may remind somebody of a place where they've been, and I just love it when I hear about somebody connecting with my work.
A proud UT alum,
of course, I think Glory Day time.
Back in town for the Knoxville Museum of Art's Artists on Location Guild. But she didn't think she'd be painting upon graduation.
I expected myself to be in the field of architecture, but I actually transitioned to becoming an artist around 2007.
While painting wasn't Tiffany's original plan, her son Emmett knows what it's meant to her his whole life.
Just growing up with painting all around me and avoiding all the paintings in the bonus room have been just a part of my life. She's been doing this competition for a few years.
It's my fourth year here. Yep.
And every time she's super successful, and it makes me so proud. Whenever I tell people oh yeah, my mom's an artist, they're like, what? It's so cool.
This year she won Best Landscape Piece in the Guild and proves that changing your mind after college is okay.
Don't cling to fear, and if you need to make a change, be thoughtful and make that change, and to be brave.
She taught me just to expand my horizons.
Change of plans, change of mindset.
Good.
On UT campus, Alexa Durbin, TVC News.
It was great to be able to stand here in the UT Gardens and spend time with Tiffany and her son. And she also tells me some peace of mind for those students still on that job search, that your first job just isn't your forever job. So if you're still on that hunt, know that there is definitely, where there's a will, there's a way, and it's going to be okay for you, for sure. And if you want to be able to follow along with Tiffany and her work, you can follow her Instagram at Tiffany Foss Fine Art, where you can check out her work and even buy some of her paintings. Now we're going to take it back to the desk.
Thanks, Alexa. Summer break is rapidly approaching and many students are hitting the road soon. And one key to getting home safe is having a well-maintained car.
I actually did this story, so here's more.
It's important for students to keep up with car maintenance before taking that summer road trip. Service advisor David Smith says this includes checking your antifreeze, battery, windshield wipers, and more.
You can pull them back and see if they're torn, or if you run your finger across it. If they're smooth, you're okay.
Oil is important too. To check your oil, park your vehicle on level ground and the handle of your oil dipstick is yellow.
I'm gonna pull it out and have a rag or a paper towel, whatever you have. Wipe it all the way off, reinsert, for a couple of seconds, then pull back out. And it'll show your level.
The oil level should be in between the minimum and maximum markings on the dipstick.
That's one thing you should have in your car is a tire pressure gauge. The normal range is 30 to 35 PSI. And you want to go around to each tire and put your gauge on it and see the reading.
Students can check their tire pressure using a tire pressure gauge.
35.5 PSI.
Executive Director Tanara Tiltate shares you can take your vehicle to a UT technician at the Road Trip Ready event next week.
It will basically be sort of like a 21-point inspection, so mainly looking at fluid levels, brakes, windshield wipers.
In Knoxville, Kaylee Smith, TVC News.
All UT students can attend the free Road Trip Ready event Monday, May 4th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. near Regal Stadium on Stevenson Drive. Also, make sure to keep an emergency kit, first aid kit, jumper cables, and water in your vehicle at all times. Stay safe, Falls, and make sure to get your vehicle inspected before cruising down the interstate this summer.
The Truman Scholarship is a prestigious award that recognizes students with outstanding leadership potential. Out of 780 candidates who apply each year, 55 students are selected. This year, the University of Tennessee's own Julia Dieter is one of the students who were selected. Dieter is majoring in public affairs with a minor in American civics. Dieter says that the scholarship is not just an award, but an affirmation for all of her hard work over the past 6 years. Congratulations.
It felt great, hearing my name called on draft night still feels kind of surreal.
5 balls were selected at the 2026 NFL Draft. We'll hear more from Colton Hood on what that moment was like.
And Lady Vol Tennis is heading to the NCAA tournament. We'll let you know what their draw is looking like when we return.
Vols, the Volunteer Channel works around the clock to curate UT news, sports, and event coverage. Best way to stay on top of all of it is to follow our Instagram at TVC News Now. You can scan this QR code right here to get right to the page. All of our content is created by UT students with the Big Orange community in mind. The Volunteer Channel thanks you for your support. Go Vols.
Trey's always been athletic, even at the age of 4. He's always got the game, he's always understood the game.
The reputation of Grayson Pope has been all over this town for a lot of years.
He's always loved ball. I think that was his 3rd word. I think it was dada and then ball.
Let me just say it the way it was first said to me. This kid Grayson's a freak athlete.
Never crossed my mind in a million years what was about to happen.
We all run over there and we see him unconscious in the cart.
For 42 days, he was in a coma.
To this very day, Grayson's story is an absolute miracle.
I'm doing great.
Mom was always very self-sufficient, but we started noticing things were off.
I was forgetting my responsibilities at work.
Mom, we should visit a doctor.
Alzheimer's. It was hard to hear that.
Early detection gave us time to seek information and support as a family. I've never felt more connected with Mom.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
When a child is fighting a critical illness, one truth touches us all. Every child deserves a childhood. A wish sparks a ripple of hope that transforms communities far and wide. And when we grant wishes together, we create a movement of kindness, strength, and unity. Become a wish maker today and be part of a journey that truly changes lives.
Since 1888, the National Geographic Society has championed generations of explorers to conserve ecosystems, share stories, and deepen understanding of every species. Today, it's more urgent than ever to illuminate and protect the vibrancy of our world, Because there's always another wonder for us to explore. Will you join us? National Geographic Society. Wonder awaits.
We are the Tennessee Volunteers. And now is our time. Time for unbeatable experiences, for bold innovation, for historic moments. It's time to do what Vols do best. More life-changing research, more problem solving, more lighting the way. We have what it takes. It takes a volunteer.
He's always been athletic, even at the age of 4. He's always got the game, he's always understood the game.
The reputation of Grayson Pope has been all over this town for a lot of years.
He's always loved ball. I think that was his 3rd word. I think it was dada and then ball.
Let me just say it the way it was first said to me. This kid Grayson's a freak athlete.
Never crossed my mind in a million years what was about to happen.
We all run over there and we see him unconscious in the cart.
For 42 days, he was in a coma.
To this very day, Grayson's story is an absolute miracle.
I'm doing great. Couldn't be better.
Welcome back to TVC Plus. We are now going to head back over to Aubrey Curran, who is live outside of Allen Jones Aquatic Center.
I was here outside the Allen Jones Aquatic Center that brought 2 former Tennessee swimmers different kinds of success. For Griffin Hadley being the first male UT swimmer to receive the Torchbearer Award, and for Jordan Crooks being the most decorated UT swimmer in program history. But despite these successes, their biggest challenge came from outside the pool.
In 2021, when Griffin Hadley and Jordan Crooks arrived at Tennessee Swim as freshmen, they found more than just experience. They found an escape.
The way I describe being in the water is just, it's therapeutic, it's a disconnect, it's a release.
I don't think I truly appreciated the ability to kind of switch your brain off and leave the outside world outside until I came here.
For 4 years, that world was everything. Until they graduated in 2025.
Yes, you can leave swimming, but I don't really know if swimming can ever leave you.
And it was such a big part of who you guys were too. I mean, it's almost like you lost like a part of yourself.
You're driven for something your entire 4 years here. You got the men's team on your back, and it's like almost the feeling of going to war with your brothers, and then you're gonna get put out in the real world, and it's kind of almost lonely feeling. Like you're like, what's my purpose?
It's a part of you that's leaving you, and it's not there anymore. And so it's going to take longer for everybody, and it's going to look different for everybody.
But their new purpose wasn't too far away from the sport they loved.
I think being around the sport still, like Griffin's around the sport, I'm around the sport still, that's kind of been a healthy way to still maintain having a purpose and moving forward without kind of cutting swimming out of our life. So like, we don't compete right now, but I teach clinics and he's obviously commentating the sport. So we're still here, just not in the aspect we used to be.
Yeah, I also asked them what advice they have for incoming freshmen entering the Tennessee swim program. They said, be willing to adapt. They said that they don't think that they would be ending up where they wouldn't have ended up where they are now if they hadn't have been willing to adapt and accepted those changes that they have. I'm going to have this full interview for you posted on the YouTube channel at the Volunteer channel, and also some updates on TVC News Now, so be sure to tune into our Instagram and YouTube channel. I'm Aubrey Curran, and I'm going to send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Aubrey. It was a big weekend for Tennessee Vols on the diamond.
For more, let's head over to Kennedy Grzinski and Connor Whitney for this week's Rocky Top Sports Report.
Thanks, guys. Well, also, the NFL draft has come and gone, and multiple Vols had their dreams come true and heard their names called last weekend.
To give us a recap of all the names that were called, let's head over to Drea Peoples, who is live outside Neyland Stadium.
Play like this.
Yeah, guys,
Yeah, guys, these players have made their mark here at the University of Tennessee and are now taking that next step into the NFL draft. For many athletes, this is just a dream, but for second-round pick of the New York Giants, Colton Hood, that dream just became reality. Hearing his name is something he says still hasn't fully sunk in.
It felt great, hearing my name called on draft night still feels kind of surreal. Just knowing I'm about to get to live my dream of playing in the NFL, but it was a great feeling.
Now, Hood isn't the only Vol that is getting the opportunity. Several other Vols heard their names called at the draft as well, including Chris Brazzell with the Carolina Panthers, Joshua Josephs with the Washington Commanders, Jermon McCoy with the Las Vegas Raiders, and Tyree West with the Detroit Lions. A few other Vols are getting their shot as well. Joey Aguilar signed with the Jaguars, and more Vols signed with teams like the Rams, Titans, Texans, 49ers, and the Broncos. From Neyland to the NFL, this Tennessee group is just getting started. But for now, back to you guys.
Thanks, Drea. Now heading over to track and field, Tennessee had a successful outing at the Tiger Track Classic in Auburn, Alabama. Ismaila Sawane hasn't lost a step in the transition from indoor to outdoor season. He set a new outdoor personal best after clearing 5.72 meters to win the pole vault event.
Over on the women's side, Hannah Grace took home first after clearing 4.35 meters. Grace is unbeaten through her first 3 competitions as a volunteer.
The Vols also had success in the throwing events as Igor Alaru took home the victory in the men's hammer throw and Roddy Shanks set a new season best in the javelin. Tennessee will wrap up the outdoor regular season this weekend at the Duke Twilight event and the Jim Green Invitational.
Now over to the tennis courts. The Lady Vols now know where they will be headed to begin the NCAA tournament run. Tennessee will travel to Durham, North Carolina for the regional rounds and will take on Old Dominion in round 1. This marks the 33rd time the Lady Vols have been selected to participate in the NCAA tournament, and this year will mark 9 straight appearances. The winner of the Durham Regional will face the winner of the Auburn Regional next weekend.
And staying on the topic of NCAA tournaments, the SEC champions Lady Vol Golf are headed to Waco for their NCAA Regional. Tennessee will play as a 3 seed out of 12, which is the program's highest seed in NCAA tournament regional since 2006. The top 5 teams from each regional will advance to the national championship, which will be played at Omni La Costa Resort and Spas Champions Course in Carlsbad, California, starting May 22nd.
Now on the men's side, the Vols did not see similar results in their SEC championship contest. The Vols failed to make it out of stroke play after a 54-hole score of 4 under par. A bright spot, however, for the Vols was Josh Hill earning his highest individual finish in his final appearance at the SEC Championships with a 4 under par effort on the week, placing him in a tie for 24th. The Vols will figure out if they did well enough to advance to the NCAA Regionals during next week's NCAA selection show on May 6th.
And finally, Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center is gearing up to host the WWE for the first time since WWE SmackDown was on Rocky Top nearly a year ago.
Now this will be the first time since 2022 that WWE Raw is in Knoxville, meaning that it will be the first time TBA will be hosting the event while streamed live on Netflix. You can purchase your tickets at foodcitycenter.com to attend the event on May 11th at 7:30 p.m.
For student athletes, your sport is oftentimes the most important thing to you in your life, but sometimes the pressure you put on yourself can be challenging.
For more, we'll send it over back to Emma and Kaylee at the desk.
Thanks, guys. Playing sports at the Division I level is a dream for many, but the playing days don't always last forever.
For one former D1 athlete, finding her path has had its roadblocks, but it's also been a journey to cherish. Here's Mateus Vodorath with more on the story.
Sports go beyond the games themselves, especially with the athletes. Being pro is one thing, but being a student athlete is another. For some athletes like Kennedy Crowder, she's one of the select few who can say they played at the Division I level.
It was some of the most fun times and stressful times simultaneously.
After playing travel ball, impressing coaches in showcases throughout the nation, Crowder, a Georgia native, was recruited to play soccer as a center back for Georgia Southern, joining the team in 2022.
I also had good grades, so people liked that I was putting the student athlete a lot.
However, as Crowder was studying to become an orthopedic surgeon, she found out quickly in her freshman year that balancing the student part would be difficult. On top of her class struggles, she found herself at a crossroads.
I didn't have the same fire in me as before, and I knew that wasn't who I was. I always went at everything 110%, and the fact that I didn't push myself like that there I realized that I had to kind of move away from it and start fresh.
Following her freshman year with constant injuries to boot, she decided to quit playing at the D1 level and transfer out of Georgia Southern, continuing her post-D1 life at Tennessee.
Changing her major 2 times since transferring, Crowder would end up in sports management, where she would find another love: live sports broadcast production.
Stacia Patterson, the Assistant Athletics Director for Live Production and Broadcast at Tennessee, has seen Crowder flourish as a member of the SEC network.
She's just fun to be around. She's loving. You can tell that she cares about people. She cares about her job, but she also cares about people. And I would honestly say that's probably one of her best qualities. It's just her personality.
Crowder feels like herself again. Getting to work the Manning Cast, College Game Day, and an ESPN internship, the transition from pre-med to broadcast has been more natural. But in the end, some things never change.
I would say I am a soccer player. I would say, oh, I'm going to be an orthopedic surgeon. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. But I'm really just me, and I just do all these things. Like, that's not who I am.
Despite all the injuries, the science classes, and all the mental doubts that kicked her in the beginning, Crowder would end up tackling all of that down in the end. In Knoxville, Mateus Fotorath, Ball News.
Now Crowder has been able to continue her love for playing as a member of the semi-professional team Georgia Impact since 2023. But throughout all her experiences, she's made sure to stay true to herself in the end.
I'm a servant, and I like serving humanity, you know, just being here to help, you know, whoever comes through those sliding doors.
Coming up, a security guard has been keeping UT students safe in Hodges Library without them even noticing. More on the man in the uniform when we return.
And some final thoughts on your weekend weather. It's an active system putting us on the outskirts that will end this weekend.
The Volunteer Channel works around the clock to curate UT news, sports, and event coverage. Best way to stay on top of all of it is to follow our Instagram at TVC News Now. You can scan this QR code right here to get right to the page. All of our content is created by UT students with the Big Orange community in mind. The Volunteer Channel thanks you for your support. Go Vols.
Trey's always been athletic, even at the age of 4. He's always got the game. He's always understood the game.
The reputation of Grayson Pope has been all over this town for a lot of years.
He's always loved ball. I think that was his 3rd word. I think it was dada and then ball.
Let me just say it the way it was first said to me. This kid Grayson's a freak athlete.
Never crossed my mind in a million years what was about to happen.
We all run over there and we see him unconscious in the cart.
For 42 days, you know, he was in a coma.
To this very day, Grayson's story is an absolute miracle.
I'm doing great. Couldn't be better.
Welcome back, Vols, to my final weather hit for the year. I'm Gail Fanning, and here is your weekend weather lookout. We'll start with today. East Tennessee is on the outskirts of a diminished cold front. The rain is to the south and will stay on it through Saturday. And this front will leave on Sunday. But in its place will be a high-pressure cooling system. And if clouds are present, then the separation will impact the cooler temperatures in Knoxville. As such, our 4-day weather forecast puts us high and low. On Friday, we'll have partly sunny skies with a high of 72 and a low of 49. On Saturday, the clouds will lessen for a slight chance of rain in the morning with a high of 65 and a low of 41. Sunday will be all sun with a high of 68 and a low of 46. And Monday, the temperature will rise from the valley for some small clouds and a high of 76. Now, for those heading to Neyland Stadium for the concert Saturday night, it is all clear but will be chilly. Doors open at 5 p.m. and we will likely see sun at 65 degrees. Luke Combs is expected to come onto the stage at 9 p.m. and we will see clear nighttime skies with a high of 57. And when leaving the stadium and campus, the clear skies will continue with a temperature of 48. Now looking beyond Knoxville, will remain in the mid-60s through the 865 tomorrow. Oak Ridge, Lenoir City, Madisonville, Maryville, and Knoxville will all be at 65. Then heading east toward Dandridge, Morristown, and Newport will be at 63. In the gateway to the Smokies, Gatlinburg will be at 61. However, as a reminder, East Tennessee is still in a drought. Southeast Tennessee, from Hamilton to Loudoun counties, is now in an extreme drought in the red. Knox County and the Holston River Valley is now in a moderate drought. This affects water supply and wildfire chances in our area. Our weekend is calmer, but also cooler and drier. Now have a great weekend and, well, have a good summer. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gail. Every year, students who are in Professor Rob Heller's advanced photojournalism class get the opportunity to travel to La Follette, Tennessee.
What started as a simple idea has now turned into a yearly tradition for UT students. For more, here's Eric Gomez-Vieta.
Welcome to La Follette, Tennessee. Working with the La Follette Press for over 30 years, Professor Rob Heller has brought the University of Tennessee's advanced photojournalism class up north to spend 30 hours photographing the town and the people in it. Heller was inspired by a series called A Day in the Life, and after meeting Larry Smith, an adjunct professor at the time, who also owned the La Follette Press, Eyes on La Follette was born.
He said, "You're coming up to La Follette." And eventually it became this project with documenting life in a small, cold town.
Katie Goins, owner of Katie's Restaurant and Catering, has photos of patrons on the wall who've been featured in Eyes on La Follette. And she speaks fondly of the paper's impact in the community.
The kids that has been coming in here over the years from Eyes on La Follette has been exceptionally nice. They come in, take pictures, and they'll sit down with you, and they'll talk with you, and not knowing you, and you not knowing them, but when they leave here, we do know them.
Senior Gia Shields shares about her experience during the trip.
It's been incredible. I mean, the people here are so kind and so willing to open up about their past and about all the history that they're so knowledgeable about, and everyone's so welcoming, and all the places we've been to, it's just such a tight-knit community, and people have known about the project that we're doing, and it's just been incredible so far.
This trip gives the citizens of La Follette a chance to see themselves and their community in a positive light, and the experience here is something many former students look back on fondly. For TVC News, this is Eric Gomez-Vieta.
If you're interested in taking the Eyes on La Follette trip, be sure to register for Professor Heller's advanced photojournalism class next year.
Hodges Library is one of the most popular study spots on the University of Tennessee's campus, and one staff member has been making a lasting impact by ensuring everyone who walks through the door feels seen, supported, and valued. Here is TVC reporter Sam Becker with more.
Hodges Library, a popular place to study on campus, is more than just where UT keeps its old books. Someone is making sure the library is a place for students to feel safe and appreciated. The man responsible is Christopher Randolph, a security guard at the UT Library. Randolph has been making students feel welcome for the past 16 years. His journey with helping students began with his college experience. He was a first-generation college student with a full ride from a track and field scholarship. However, that didn't mean Randolph's academic career was free from hardship.
Because when I was in undergraduate school, the struggle was real, and there was not support systems there for African American students in the 70s. And because of my challenges being a first generation, really having a hard time, I decided that if I was ever able, if I was ever given an opportunity to give back to students that which I did not receive, I would do it to my fullest ability.
With that motivation, Randolph earned a master's in educational psychology to further increase his ability to help students. After graduation, he became a college advisor at the University of Tennessee, where he helped students for the next 16 years. After leaving advising for a brief period to help with his mother, Randolph was back and ready for more.
It's not the security itself, it's just being, I'm a server, and I like serving humanity, you know, just being here to help whoever comes through those sliding doors. So it's not the profession itself, it's just having the opportunity to serve faculty, staff, and students.
Mr. Chris joined the UTPD in 2009, and for the past 16 years, students have noticed a difference. Keanu, a senior at UT, has had Randolph there supporting him throughout his time at college.
That's it, and he always smiles, he daps me up. He just always got a smile and points at me when he sees me, and
no matter what he's doing, he'll stop and talk to me. So I love that about him. He makes time for people, takes time out of his day, you know, to make people feel like they matter. So I appreciate that.
Randolph's efforts have left a lasting impact on Hodges Library, and the students couldn't be happier. Sam Becker, Vol News.
It's the small moments, like a smile or a quick conversation, that make a big difference, and Randolph continues to provide that every day. His dedication is a reminder that sometimes the most meaningful support on campus comes from the people you might not expect.
The UT Baker School just presented an award in honor of the great Tennessee statesman Howard Baker. TVC's Cam Evans had the chance to sit down with the inaugural recipient and learn what this means to him and his city.
As political division grows louder, one mayor is drawing the rare sound of applause. The inaugural Howard H. Baker Jr. Award for Public Service was presented April 13th at the University of Tennessee's Baker School. Baker School Dean Marian Wanamaker says the search for a recipient was extensive.
We really did do a national search.
The Baker School Board of Advisors specifically looked for a recipient who represented 3 key values of Senator Baker.
One is confidence in America's institutions. Number 2, intellectual humility. The idea is that you don't have all the answers and others might. And then the third value of Senator Baker that we were looking for is someone who is dedicated to and talented at finding common ground.
That search led them to Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt, who also serves as the president of the United States Conference of Mayors.
He actually was getting a lot of news coverage because he was working on political violence.
An issue that hits close to home for Mayor Holt.
In Oklahoma City, we have the site of the deadliest act of political violence in lived history.
After the assassination of political figure Charlie Kirk, Mayor Holt drafted the Oklahoma City Declaration, which has now been signed by over 230 American mayors.
It is a reminder of the inevitable outcome of this sort of polarization, extremism, words of dehumanization and division. Ultimately, those words inspire violence.
His solution? Urging Americans to remember
Our basic shared humanity, the necessity to compromise, the acceptance that we're not all going to think the same, and that's okay.
And for Mayor Holt, the Howard H. Baker Jr. Award means more than just being the inaugural recipient.
So I'm both honored and appreciative of it, but also grateful that it now exists. And I'm glad that it will be bestowed in years to come to continue to encourage people who are really trying to follow in his footsteps.
A reminder that common ground is still worth finding. Cam Evans, TVC News.
You can learn more about Mayor Holt's mission in Oklahoma City at okc.gov.
This weekend, students at the University of Tennessee are soaking up the sunshine and kicking off the season at a popular campus tradition. Thaw Out Knoxville is bringing students together today for an afternoon of live music, food trucks, and summer fun at an annual event celebrates the transition from winter to warmer weather and gives students one last chance to unwind before this semester wraps up.
The Thaw is celebrating the end of winter, going into spring. It's the last hurrah before school gets out. It's about live music, food trucks, cold drinks, and partying in the sun. We're just having like a blast before we all head back to summer.
This year's lineup features artists like DaBaby, Acraze, and Asher and Miami XO, bringing high-energy performances to campus. This is an event you're not going to want to miss.
Now, to get a little taste of the environment there at Thaw Out, be sure to tune in to TVC News at 12:30 on the CW channel, where we'll be live out at World's Fair Park.
And also make sure to follow us at TVC News Now on Instagram to stay up to date on all news here on Rocky Top. And until next time, I'm Kaylee Smith.
And I'm Emma Browning. And as always,
go Vols!